Hey, y'all, thanks again for listening to Drew Tessier's Mostly Queer Comedy Podcast. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review. You can follow me at Drew Tessier NYC. And if you want to see it live, you can watch this on YouTube. Thanks, y'all.
It's Drew Tessier's Mostly Queer Comedy Show. Let's talk, y'all.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Drew Tessier's Mostly Queer Comedy Podcast, where we interview mostly queer comedians, but the format changes from now and then. This is a very exciting episode. Sheria Mattis, welcome. She's been a finalist in the festival before, the New York Queer City Festival. She has been in tons of my shows. She is now hosting once a month at Greenwich Village Comedy Club for my weekly queer comedy show. We love her. How are you, my dear?
Hi. Hello. Oh, my goodness.
You had a big night.
I mean, it's not really that big of a night by most measures, but I'm a very sleepy, old, tired lady. So
as I tell people all the time, I can still party all night. I just can't function the next day.
And it's not even all night. Like, I went home at, 2:33.
All right.
Not that bad. I used to be able to, go buck wild,
sure,
bald-headed hoe shit until 6 in the morning, sleep for 4 hours, and get back up and do a bunch of shit. And now I can barely function if I, drink a little bit and move my ass just ever so slightly.
Yeah, I was, when I first moved to the city, I was in Hell's Kitchen all the time. And
wait, which Hell's Kitchen? What era is this?
I moved to New York in 2003.
Okay, that's
so when
still
it was
fun.
just starting, I lived on 47th between 10th and 11th. So if I was coming home late, you still kind of had to have your tits about you a little bit when you crossed over 11th, a little bit. There were still ladies of the night that would come out in the morning hours.
Yes.
It was New York-y.
It was still New York.
But Times Square was already Disney-fied by that point. But the point being is the other day, we were walking through Times Square, or through Hell's Kitchen. I was like, there's not many 24-hour diners left. When I first moved here, you could go to a diner at, when you're done drinking at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking to myself, when the fuck was the last time I was out drinking at 4 o'clock in the morning? Are you kidding me? I would die.
I don't know. That was when the city was great. You could get poppers at 6:30 on a Sunday morning, and it was that's when it was still, artsy. There were still cool parties and shit.
I'm so naive. Do ladies use poppers?
I mean, I was hanging out with, I was covered in glitter and shame glaze with all the rest of the boys. But I the last time I did poppers was 2009. So I mean, when I was just a baby.
So you are from New York.
Yeah.
You grew up in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that explains the lack of hope in my eyes. Yes, I'm from here. Yeah. I've tried to escape several times, but.
Right, because you were in China for a while?
No, I wasn't in China. I was in Vietnam. And Thailand. Yeah.
How long were you doing that? And what were you doing while you were there?
Well, I was in Asia for 4 years.
Wow.
But yeah, right. I was supposed to be there for 2 months. But yeah, I was in Asia for 4 years. I was teaching English in Vietnam, and I was teaching a little bit in Bangkok. And just, going to temples, that's where I started doing yoga and all that stuff, just trying to get my head somewhat right, and
So you were teaching English. Do you speak any other languages?
I barely speak English. No, I speak very little Vietnamese. I can say sit down and be quiet, and how old are you and how much is that? But I speak a little bit of, very, very little bit of Korean. And even less Thai. But
I have an insane question, and I may cut this later, but because you guys, I think, are around the same age. When you were over there, did you ever happen to meet a super, super Southern girl teaching English in Vietnam named Rebecca Boynton?
Something about that name.
I mean, you wouldn't remember. She is so country and so funny. But I feel like she was around the same time in Vietnam also teaching.
Where in Vietnam was she?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was in Haiphong,
Right.
which is close to Hanoi. but that name sounds.
It's very possible that that
familiar.
would be so funny.
That would be very cool.
So which high school did you go to in New York?
Okay, so I went to boarding school in Natick, Massachusetts for a bit, and then I went to the High School of Telecommunication Arts and Technology because they chased me out of that boarding school.
You were kicked out of a boarding school.
I wasn't kicked out, but I was chased out. I was being bullied by this guy. He used to draw pictures of me hanging all over the
What?
school. Yes, he used to write. It was like me and a few of my friends and like anybody. Like yeah, it was a whole thing. Like literally, my like group chat with my homegirls from boarding school is like victims of whatever his name was.
So were you going to performing arts schools or were you going more arts and science?
I went to, that was a performing arts school. So yeah, that was, well, it was an arts school because you could also do creative writing and visual arts and stuff like that. But I was there for performing arts for a brief.
So when was the first time that you got on stage, not got on stage, but did stand-up comedy specifically?
Oh, did stand-up comedy. Okay. April 19th, 2019. Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't long ago.
Yeah, it was like this was my 5-year anniversary.
Amazing.
A little bit ago.
Because I feel like you've just been in the scene forever. I mean, which I guess, 5 years is
5 years is a long ass time
I hear you.
to be hustling the way I've been hustling with the success that the limited amount of success that I have had. But no, I feel like it was, but I was also like a comedy nerd,
Right.
for a very, very long time. So I've always loved comedy. I like grew up watching like Def Comedy Jam and Comedy Central Presents. Like that was when Comedy Central was like a real channel. It was
So what was like the first special that you just watched over and over again that like really like this is the guy or girl that
the first special I ever watched over and over and over again, I don't remember the name of it. It was one of Sinbad's specials.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It was the one. Did you ever watch the old Sinbad?
I mean,
specials?
Sure. That would have been when I was watching.
Like I had my grandma. My grandma had a VHS. My grandma on my dad's side had a VHS tape of one Sinbad special. The one where they like bring up. He brings up like a backup dancer and they do Have you seen her? Have you seen that one? It's amazing. It's incredible.
Huge for a while.
He was huge.
Yeah.
He was huge in my mind when I was like very, very, very little. Because it was like, and it was appropriate comedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
He
it
was
was a lot of
clean,
jokes
yeah.
about child abuse, but it was still clean.
Right.
Like it was still clean comedy. Yeah, he was great. And it was like a fantastic like mix of it was just like a celebration, which I feel like a lot of comedy, for good or for ill, is not really doing very, very often. I don't do it.
Any female comics?
Yes. I mean, well, later on in life, this is when I'm like 3 or 4 or whatever, but like that was like the first. But like, I still think that Monique's I Could Have Been Your Cellmate is one of the greatest comedy specials of all time, and she does not get her due. Like, that is one of those specials that like almost makes you not want to do comedy. Like, it's like, damn, like she really like she have you seen it?
I have.
Yeah.
And what prison was she?
Some women's prison.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one.
So Monique films a special in a women's prison, and it's like you said, it's groundbreaking, it's different, it's cool.
It's so cool. It's a mix of like, and it's also just, it was so humanizing to the women in prison. It was one of those first like before people were talking about being an abolitionist, like that was it felt so subversive that nobody was picking up on how subversive it was. She humanized the women in those prisons, and she compares herself to them, and she wore like a yassified glittered version of their jumpsuit, and it was just like it's a beautiful, fun, celebratory but serious, important special. Like the things that make you go, oh, that's what comedy can do.
So then, like Queens of Comedy and stuff like that
I loved Queens of Comedy. Yes, Queens of Comedy, amazing. Some more, like, oh yes. I loved Queens of Comedy. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. But that one was one of those people not really doing that shit, even still. You know, people aren't really doing that shit.
Yeah, it's still, I think, even, here we are talking about queer comedy and sort of in New York, we're so lucky that often there's multiple queer comics of different flavors on multiple lineups, but I still think often one female black comic on a lineup, if.
Same. Like, even the show that I run, like, it's hard to get more than one black queer female comic on the lineup.
Right.
It's really hard. I end up working my friends like mules, just like, hey, we need you to show up just to make it look less like a KKK meeting, like it's so, I don't know what's going on. I can't explain it, but I do notice that there is a dearth of queer black, especially like female comics.
Which is interesting because if you look back, even despite many of them being in the closet, most female comics that were high profile were gay.
Moms Mabley,
Right.
like starting from the beginning.
Sure.
Yes, you ever talk to a bunch of black queer aunties? They're fucking hilarious.
Well, and everything in our country of note back to the beginning has its roots in black queer. I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Yes.
But have you seen the Little Richard documentary yet?
The Little Richard documentary, yes, the new one with with Billy Porter,
so good.
It's very good. It's excellent.
Like I think I watched it and then started it back at the beginning because it's just so much information.
I had no idea that he went back in the closet toward that. I had no idea of any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like none of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the complicated part with Little Richard is all the Jesus stuff that haunted him his entire life.
Yes.
But I mean, he was so outrageous in the South in the 50s, and I mean,
he was radically queer in ways that people today
can't get away with.
Would not with people today. If they saw Little Richard in like the 50s, they would have been like, "Oh, the woke left and their new shit."
He's little Nas X. I mean, he really is.
Exactly.
I mean, Tutti Frutti is a filthy song.
It's a song about butt fucking.
Yeah.
It's one of the foundations of rock and roll, and it's a song by a queer black man about butt fucking.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, yeah.
So, who do you co-produce your show with?
Ellie Kremendall.
Right, Ellie, of course.
Yes.
And it's called Gay Shame.
Yes.
And it's monthly in Brooklyn?
Yes, it's monthly at Union Hall now, but we've done them at Littlefield, and we might do it at another venue.
And
one-off.
you guys take sort of a theme each. Yeah, tell the people about your show.
I don't know why we do this, but we just stress ourselves out for nonsense that nobody gets. So we take a movie or a television show, usually the one that resonates with us, that has a song or a dance or something like that, and then we do a shameful version of it.
And it's called Gay Shame. Love it.
Yeah, we started with Mean Girls, and we did it with Amanda Seyfried, and that was incredible, but now we've trapped ourselves in this, and now we have to do these, people got Mean Girls, people got High School Musical, but everything else we've done, people mostly are very...
And you did Romy and Michelle.
We did Romy and Michelle. That was incredible. We did Romy and Michelle. Janine Garofalo came out on stage. Amazing. That was so cool. That was one of the coolest moments of my actual entire life.
I need to get Janine on the podcast. I love your show. It is crazy just watching the movies that you pick for your show. How much you and I just need to start hanging out and watching movies, because we seem to have sort of the same vibe going. I saw Romy and Michelle in the movie theater right after I graduated high school with sort of a big group of people, blind. I mean, not even knowing what to... I've never laughed so... When she gets hit by the fucking limo, I didn't think I was going to recover.
That is one of the... And then also I forgot my top.
Yeah.
It's just so... There's so many classic lines from that movie. So, here's the thing. There's less of a generational media gap between you and me and somebody 4 years younger than me.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Because I grew up, yes, you saw it in the theaters, and maybe I wasn't old enough to see it in the theaters, but I saw it when it came on TV, and I saw it when it came on VHS, and that was like media, there was sort of like an overarching culture that we could all tap into.
Right.
And now
it's just so fast and
it's
everybody's
so
in their own little-
isolated and niche, which is good, but also it means no one gets my references.
Right. Well, welcome to my life. And the older I get, I feel like nobody gets I'm just in my own little reference world.
People don't know what Dennis the Menace is. I have to change that joke. Like, people
That's
don't
a
know.
very old show. I mean, even the the reboot of that movie is very old.
But it is an enduring character. Maybe you didn't see the movies or read the comics, but you know of Dennis the Menace up to a certain age.
So your last show, and so I run a show on Tuesday nights as well. Your show's on Tuesday. I was heartbroken that I didn't get to see this one.
It
but
was a mess.
You recently did Troop Beverly Hills.
Yes, we did.
And I have written, I was talking to you about this the other night, I have written about in sort of a one-man play that I did that will never see the light of day. But, for those of you who have not seen it, Troop Beverly Hills is this cheesy Shelley Long movie from the 89, where she's a Beverly Hills housewife who becomes a Wilderness Girls leader. And the cast of little girls is insane. It's Tori Spelling and...
Right, yes. Well, Tori Spelling is not one of...
Oh, she's one of the bad ones. She's a red feather.
Yes, she's a red feather. Very culturally insensitive. But they were the villains. So.
Right. Which is even worse.
Yeah.
But several other sort of who's of little girls that grow up to do things. I feel like, is Kid Wonder in anyway, it doesn't matter. So she becomes the leader of this troop. Those of you that know me know that I'm an Eagle Scout. I was very active in scouting, and she gets this little polyester uniform and she takes it to her tailor and says, "What can I do with it?" And he says, "Oh, besides burn it," which is also sort of a early gay man, sort of.
That used to be a staple.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the next scene is her walking into this Wilderness Girls meeting, and she has this long khaki cape, and she flips it open, and it's lined with green satin, and she's smoking a long cigarette and has a fabulous hat. And I'm telling you, it made me gay.
Yeah.
The moment that she flipped her cape open, I mean, I'm sitting I did see that in the movie theater. I think I was in like second grade or something. Well, 89. 89?
89, yeah. That's when it came out.
I feel like it's older than that.
According to Wikipedia and my memory.
It came out early 89. I could have seen it in fourth grade, so that would have made sense, because I know I saw it in Alaska. Anyway, flips open her cape, and I mean, it was just like a casino in my brain. Like, all the gay lights went off at the same time. Yeah. And I hate that I missed that show, because I love it so much.
We had a great time doing cookie time for a bunch of very confused people who were like, we don't know what's happening. We don't understand what's going on. But I had fun.
And the plot also, it's so interesting looking at the movie in today's eyes, because the whole plot is there are a bunch of rich girls who we're supposed to feel sorry for.
Yes. Yes.
They are the put down people in this plot.
Yes.
And then they're trying to sell their cookies. And they don't want their parents to just buy them because all their parents are rich. So they put on a show and perform in a Tina Turner wig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which you did, I assume.
Yes, I did the Tina Turner wig indeed. Yes. So this is the thing, though. They don't want their parents to, because I was a Girl Scout, right?
Okay.
I was a Girl Scout. I remember selling cookies. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I remember my hood little troop trying to sell cookies or whatever. We didn't get Robin Leach to come to a beautiful mansion and a pool to do a gala to pay for these cookies. Like, they clearly use their privilege in egregious ways to win over the Red Feathers, who are actually kind of doing it the right way.
I mean, it is a very convoluted message.
Yeah, it very much is like the 1% are our overlords, and we should love them. And you kind of do. You just do.
And I mean, like the other parents in the group One of them is a famous book writer
Yes.
who ignores her child. One of them is a famous actor who ignores her child. One of them is a dictator, like you
Yes,
said. Yeah.
that's right. The little Asian girl, her dad is a dictator.
It's not a perfect movie. It's
It's of its time. It's a film of its time. And they really had that black girl out there hustling in that Tina Turner wig for cookies.
So what movie are we doing for May?
Okay, so we finally, we had some issues. We had some controversy. But we finally, me and Ellie, we have come to the decision for May. It will be Waiting for Guffman.
Okay.
Yes. We're saving a big one for a different one. For when we have more time. Ellie got kids and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't got no job. She got, you know what I mean? She got things to do, so I understand it.
Love Waiting for. I mean, I love all the Christopher Guest films,
yes.
but Waiting for Guffman. You know, I'm a little theater fag. I mean, I love it all. I mean, I can't have a big day with a big show without saying out loud, "It's the day of it's the day of the show, y'all."
Day of the show, y'all. I love Corky. That's one of the best characters, and I love a Christopher Guest moment. There needs to be more of the mockumentary format for feature.
Although they're not all great. I mean, I love Waiting for Guffman. I like Best in Show.
I love Best in Show.
I do too. I like Waiting for Guffman better just because I'm a theater kid.
Valid.
But when I was a theater major in college, and we used to go.
Shocking.
Breaking down stereotypes.
Yeah, that's
here.
right.
We used to go every year to SETC, which I think stands for the Southeastern Theater Conference. And this was exciting for me because this was the only time ever I was going to get to see a bunch of gay people, because we didn't have many in our theater department, we didn't have many in our state. So that was always a big deal for me. And, it was a bunch of auditions, and we're auditioning for colleges and scholarships and blah, 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 blah. But I will never forget, this girl came out and said, I will now do a monologue from the deleted scenes of Waiting for Guffman. And she did that scene where Parker Posey is unplugging the... It was so funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
From the deleted scenes of Waiting for Guffman.
Oh my God, wait, that's incredible.
Who's on top and who's on bottom now?
Okay, that's incredible. That's it. I love when people do deep cut. Like, I love things like that. Like, if you're passionate about something I don't know about, like, I'm interested.
I totally agree. I'm
interested, and I think I want that curiosity for people. This is another thing.
Okay.
Here's another thing.
Here we go.
The death of television as a something that is like there are no television events anymore. That was like a thing.
Like
right?
what? Like Circus of the Stars, or like
What Circus of the Stars?
Oh my God! When I was a little boy, all these pseudo celebrities would put on a circus show, and it would be like silver spoons doing tightropes and stuff. It was.
Did anybody get injured from that?
Probably. I don't know.
They would do that. Oh no, I didn't know. They should bring that back. That is a great way to eat the rich. No, when Boy Meets World would be like, oh, a television special, or Dawson's Creek, a television special
like a very
event,
special episode.
where you'd like everybody, we got to be home at this time. You know what I mean? Where it was like a communal experience.
Okay.
To it was not just communal in your home; it was communal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Like, we don't have that anymore, so we don't have like a monoculture to reference as a shorthand for certain experiences.
Or like when MTV used to do like video launches.
Thank you. Like
TRL.
the
The new Madonna video is coming out tonight. I've got to get home from school by 4 p.m.
Yes, to vote on TRL for you know what I mean? Like, yes, we don't have that anymore. And I mean, obviously I think that's probably a good thing in many ways, but I think if I weren't forced to watch things that I otherwise would never have watched, why the fuck would I, as a 6-7-year-old, want to watch First Wives Club about a bunch of middle-aged, I would have never, that has nothing to do with my current experience as a child. It has nothing to do with me. And it was amazing. Yeah. It was because my mama was like, we are watching what I want to watch, and you will sit here. And she was correct. You know what I mean? There's the gays don't even know Mommy Dearest anymore.
I know.
It's horrible.
You love a dance number in a movie.
I do love a dance.
Every movie you've made, I've been thinking, I was like, because First Wives Club has that.
We did the dance from First One. I love a dance number in a movie, especially when it's not really perfectly explained by the plot.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that in life.
It's just in Bette Midler's contract.
That's right. Or we were like, we got Bette Midler. What are we gonna do? We gotta do like a song and dance. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, she's all that. The big dance and she's all that. Like, I love things like that. It's like, cinema. It's cinema to me. Cinema is a visual language, and we should do stupid shit in this beautiful visual medium.
Agreed. I mean, but I do think that, like, there's been a real death of just silly for the sake of silly. I feel like there was a lot of silly movies when we were younger that we don't see anymore.
Yes, or not even silly movies. They would be movies because, like, First Wives Club starts with a suicide, so it's not just a silly movie.
So we're gonna balance it with the dance number.
That's right. So it was telling sometimes hard stories with silly elements that really, like, inform my humor and the way I approach the world. And I think that it's that not being around is sad, is bad.
So you have your show, Gay Shame, in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Now, you also have a podcast that you had that was sort of on hiatus, but it's coming back, or...
Oh, Semi-Woke. Semi-Woke, yes.
Oh, there's two podcasts.
There's two podcasts. So
All right.
I had a podcast with Pranav, Semi-Woke. It was on hiatus due to very annoying technical reasons. And we haven't started recording episodes yet. It's still like a whole thing, but we will start recording episodes by summer.
And who was the co-host with that?
Pranav Bahari.
Okay, cool.
And he is a cis het man, and that is part of the dynamic. But I have another podcast that should start. We're gonna start, like, pushing out the clips tomorrow, but I guess it'll be out by now. Called The Strap Down with Aria Young, and it's just like two, femme of center, black lesbians
Fabulous.
talking about absolute fucking nonsense. Like, we're not gonna be listen, there's a lot of serious important things that are happening in the world, and we're not gonna talk about any of that shit.
We're gonna be talking about Best in Show week after week after week.
Oh, I wish,
the
though.
deepest dive of Troop Beverly Hills you have ever heard in your entire life.
There's definitely footage of that we have had to cut out. Me just talking about shit that Aria's everything, but also talking about like, here's another thing. Now, I've just come on your podcast to complain.
Please.
What happened to the queer indie stuff? Like, I hear all the time that the gays, the rainbow mafia is coming and is trying to propagandize your children into being gay. Where?
Right.
Where? I need it. Where's the propaganda that they're making? Get on your job, okay? Evil gay boardroom or whatever.
Right.
That's in charge, because there were more.
The gay agenda is falling short.
The gay agenda. What are y'all doing? Y'all are slacking. Y'all just sitting around fucking doing ketamine and talking about Drag Race. Get on your job.
Exactly.
Okay,
We have
let's
enough
take over the
housewife
world.
shows. It's handled.
Is that what y'all are doing, gay agenda? Let's get it together. But, like, I grew up with, like, not grew up, but, kind of like I grew up with queer rom-coms, like small queer rom-coms, like, like The Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love, and like.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
So, do you know the L Word, right?
Yeah.
The first L Word.
Sure.
Tina and Bet, right?
So, I did not watch the original L Word.
I want to be like, but it's a terrible show.
But I did watch the reboot, the first season, and I thought of any of the reboots that have tried, it did the best job of trying to reference the original show while sort of making it more current and more. I mean, it's still clunky, and it's not. You're disagreeing. Tell me, please.
No. I think it did a great job of melding those two, but I do think it lets itself off the hook for some of the egregious errors of the original L Word. You didn't watch it. and you're probably better for it. But it was very transphobic.
Oh, right,
it
right,
was
right.
It was problematic racially. It had a lot of issues that were of its time, and
Right.
also Eileen Chaikin, God love her, she is Tyler Perry for lesbians. So there's only so much you can do to make that show good.
If you make an enemy of Tyler Perry for me before I've even had a chance to get this show
Oh,
off the
I'm
ground.
so sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm still sending my tape out to them. No, we love you, Tyler Perry. Please put me in a bad wig and something. You are the only one hiring black folks. The new show kind of like addresses it without really addressing it. It's sort of like they bring Max back and he's like, it's all cool, the virulent transphobia you subjected me to. It's all good, guys.
Well, even just masculine presenting lesbians, they were sort of nasty too, right?
Yes, they sure were.
Yeah, well-
Although it goes back and forth, right? Because like the first season had some very cool masculine lesbian, and even the early Max episodes, he's like they're pretty good with his identity, and then some turfy shift happened, and it became that. I don't know what happened. I could be a conspiracy theorist, but I don't know what happened.
I mean, HBO was it
Showtime.
Showtime?
It was
Showtime
Showtime.
happened. Los Angeles. I mean, there's lots of things that.
But also, there is a lack of mask-leaning lesbians in media. Period. Like it's that's not what you if you are seeing a love story between two women, or it's two femmes.
Yeah.
It's two femmes.
Absolutely.
100%. It's primarily two white femmes, but like if they can throw in a dash of color for
Right,
diversity,
right.
they will.
Yeah. I mean, it's first there was nothing, and then it's. Well, but you just answered your own question too. Why aren't they making more more queer content? Well, because we're never happy. But that doesn't mean to quit trying. But
yeah, and we go out to support. I have seen so many terrible lesbian movies.
Sure.
And I watch
Boys
so
on the
much.
Side.
Oh, wait! I love Boys on the Side. Hold up, let's park it, okay? I love Whoopi Goldberg and Boys on the. That is you, Shelley. That might be my Shelley Long moment a little bit. Actually, no, that's a lie. My Shelley Long moment is. Do you remember Debrat? Fuck.
No.
You're Australian. You wouldn't know. Debrat. She's still around.
She's talking to the cameraman, not to you.
Oh, I'm
the
so
audience.
sorry. Yes. What do y'all? Why you not answering? She's a rapper. Brat tat 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 on that ass.
Oh, sure, the Brat.
Yes,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Brat.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
When she first came out, like in the early 90s, she was a stud. Like, she was very studdy, and that was the first time I'd ever seen that on TV, and that made me gay.
Well, it's also interesting because Queen Latifah, first character, was a very.
Are you talking about Set It Off?
Yeah. Wait. Set It Off. Yeah. Wait. Which one? No. Which one's the? Is that the Jewel or
the bank heist?
Yeah.
One. That's
yeah.
Set It
yeah.
Off. Yes. Oh, Set It Off.
And she's badass in it, and super butch, and
Also,
then immediately like backpedals, and yeah.
Well, I think it's I also had my backpedal. So we all have our backpedals. I don't know Queen Latifah's story, but I imagine that when you have certain family and cultural expectations, like I don't know if Queen Latifah had come out in the 90s, I don't think we would have Queen Latifah today.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just think it is what it is. So I can't really shade her for that, but yeah, she did a great. And also, Set It Off is like the only time you'll see a black lesbian couple on anything. There are zero black lesbian rom-coms where there's two.
Fascinating.
Isn't that sorry?
No, you're
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Again, what's going? I hear, especially like black cis het people get very up in arms. They're trying to make the black people gay. Where? Give me the content where they're making the Negroes gay.
Yeah.
I need it. Like it's not happening. This conspiracy is not happening, and I want to make it a reality.
So what? No. I want to stay on this track. 'Cause so what? I think you just answered a second ago. So what was the first time you saw a black queer woman on television that wasn't skirting around it, that wasn't but like absolutely
Like a character, you mean?
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely was too young to watch Set It Off when it came out. But I guess Set It Off. No, it can't be Set It Off.
Are you still waiting to see one? Are we?
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, no, it is.
Well, I mean, The Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love, that is a black, but I saw that in high school. I guess that was the first time I actually like feel like I saw myself in a queer black character was The Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls
I
in Love.
gotta watch this. We gotta watch this.
We should watch. It's almost a perfect rom-com too.
Huh.
It's so funny. It's so sweet. It's a coming of age film. It's like it's such a good movie. And it's like kind of like it was when I was in boarding school, me and my homegirls, like we used to watch it all the time.
Aww.
So like I like was surprised when, other people didn't know it as well. People know it, but other people.
So you are gay. You don't fuck with men at all. Okay, all right.
I mean, here's the thing. I prefer, strongly prefer women, and just because of what I am attracted to, I tend to like women. But of course, I have dated and will date trans men. And, I tried. I tried really hard not to be straight, but to be with men for reasons that are complex, and I tried.
All right.
I feel like I tried, and I feel like if some unicorn rainbow of a man existed, maybe I'll try again, but highly unlikely.
So when was your first experience with a woman or a female?
Yeah. I got boarding school. Yeah.
And it's a good opportunity for
Boarding
it, I would think. You've got them all locked up in a dorm.
Exactly. You would it actually. No, I wish I could break that stereotype, but it's true. It's true. Yeah, boarding school, little, white dyke.
I did well at Boy
session.
Scout camp. I mean,
I fucking bet you did.
I mean, there's just, it's a numbers game when you get everybody.
The Beyonce of Boy Scout camp. I mean, I went to Girl Scout camp, and I never got any gay shit at Girl Scout camp.
Missed opportunity.
I was looking. Yeah, no. High school is when I was doing my absolute most bald-headed hoe shit.
And so did you come out in high school? Did you come out? Okay.
I came out in high school, and then in college, I started hooking up with a very lesbian-coded man. And then, and I think I was, I tried. I would have boyfriends, and then I would, okay, this is not a good thing to admit, but I would cheat on them. Like, it's just what it is. You try, you want to meet those expectations, and also, like, you get your heart broken by a few girls, and you're like, you know what? I ain't gay no more. I'm not, and it's easy to get a boyfriend, and, you don't even have to really see them that often. You just have to have someone to mention. I'm sorry, that sounds terrible, but, you're just like, I have a boyfriend. Look at me being a normal person. But then, after a while, you're like, what am I doing?
Well, I also sometimes it's just like, when you've got so much piled on, it's like which one can I let go of? I mean, like which is going to make my life a little easier.
Exactly.
I get it.
Like it really is like you don't want to be always, or I didn't want to be always so different. I feel like I've had the experience of being like the odd one out in almost every single area of my life, and I just couldn't accept. It was less about not being able to accept that I was queer than it was not being able to accept that I wasn't the perfect black woman.
Yeah.
Because the perfect black woman, she's straight. She stands by her man. You know what I mean? Or that's the messaging that I was given. And it took me a very, very long time to accept, like, you're not going to be that girl. You're not going to be that girl. You're way better. Right. You're like an authentic, real person.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That's...
Any ladies in the mix right now?
I mean, First of all, not a lot of people are ladies anymore. But I mean, am I fucking? Yes. Am I opening myself up emotionally no, it's hard because I don't date comics.
It's good.
And when I know it's a good thing, but also like.
Who else do you see?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've literally been going on dates. I had to stop. I was going on dates and like, oh shit, I gotta leave for a little bit, do the spot, and I'll come back and meet you. Like that's not. People can't handle that. Like,
I know.
You're in a real
it's hard.
relationship.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, my boyfriend currently is working at a restaurant and has shitty hours. Actually, his hours are worse than mine. So it's actually lucky because but it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I mean, like in my view, I think like maybe
Because
other
our lifestyle
artists-
is ridiculous.
Yes, it's not healthy and
It's
normal.
us. We are the problem.
Yes, if I can't meet you every evening at 7, like when you get off work,
Right?
Because I'm hustling doing my yucks.
Yeah.
And also, people don't really quite understand it. They're like, "Oh, are you making a lot of money?" No.
Yeah.
No, I'm crazy.
Yeah, I had to tell my boyfriend early on because he came to like 2 or 3 shows in a row, and I was like, "Listen, you got to pace yourself, or you're gonna hate me."
Yeah.
I don't. You're welcome to come as often as you like. I love seeing you there, but for real, like this is why so many people don't make it because it's hard to date a comic because we suck.
Here's another thing. I do get laid after shows, but there's a distance that is hard to close that, like, when you fuck somebody who's not necessarily a fan, but, like, has seen you in that
See, I've
light.
never had that experience. I don't think I've ever... Am I lying? No, I don't think I've ever met anyone at a show or fucked a fan or...
You never... Oh, that's, like, the only time I get laid. Okay, work.
I guess I'm not putting out...
No. And I think there's an awkwardness there because I'm a different version of myself.
Right.
When I'm off stage. I want to be like a vulnerable person in a way that I can't be.
And I've had a couple of people on here, recently talking about having a big social media following and the idea of like meeting somebody that's created this image and same. That's how I feel. Like I would hate that. Hate that.
I know. And even I don't have much of a social media following. I have gotten... Should I not talk about? I've gotten messages from people that I was like, oh, maybe I'll have sex with you, and then they say like, this like overly effusive praise that is again distancing and it feels like a lot of pressure to me. Like you are the blah, 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 you know what I mean? Because that's the image that you expect me to portray on social media, and I can't do that for you or anybody. Yeah. I've been fighting not to do that. I suck dick trying to do that. That's how hard I was trying to do that. I give up. I will not do it.
Did you say the name of the new podcast? I know we talked about...
The Strap Down.
Okay, The Strap Down. Okay,
The Strap Down, cool. Yes, I know. Hopefully we don't get demonetized.
I feel like I could sit and talk to you all day long. Like now I just want to scrap my entire podcast and just have you and me have a show. I feel like...
Just talking about movies nobody's ever seen.
Yes. So I mentioned at the top... Sheria is going to be hosting monthly at Greenwich Village Comedy Club. We have a show that we are doing together that I'm very excited... Not together. I will not be on the lineup. But I'm very excited about Juneteenth. We are going to do an all-queer black lineup. You, Marcy Smiles, a former winner of the festival.
She's so funny.
Our ally is going to be Vanessa Jackson, who is a writer for SNL. Got another guy from SNL. I don't want to say his name, but I'm really hoping we're going to have him as well. Danny Suggs, Adrian the Comic, Slim. It's going to be a fabulous lineup. That is on June 18th.
June 18th. Okay, yeah.
Juneteenth. Did I have to tell you when Juneteenth was?
I thought Juneteenth was June 19th.
Am I saying it wrong?
One of us is racist, and I can't figure out who.
Well, Adrian, when I asked him to do it, he was like, yes, that's June 31st, right?
June 31st. It's so funny. Yes.
So anyway, whatever day Juneteenth is, fuck us all. We are going to be doing a fabulous show, all queer lineup. Tell them your social media.
Yes, Sheria Mattis Comedy, Sheria Mattis, Mattis Comedy. You should know how to spell that. On Instagram, and Sheria does that on TikTok, and I am suspended from Twitter, but when that's back up, I'll let you know.
If you've made it this far in the show, thank you so much for listening. I think this was a really fun conversation. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, whatever the shit is you're supposed to do to build my profile.
Yeah, comment. Make comments.
Make comments. That's the one that
Even
I always
mean ones.
forget.
Start arguments.
Yeah, call me a faggot right here in the comments. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you next time, y'all.
Bye.
It's Drew Tessier's Mostly Queer Comedy Show. Let's talk, y'all.